Alright, welcome back guys to another Champion Concept video. Today we're going to be going over a cool take on the Control Mage class, concept I created known as Razul. Like always, if you guys like these Champion Concepts, please like and subscribe to my channel. Let me know what you guys think, and let me know if there's a certain Champion Concept you guys would like to see me do in the future. Now, outside of that, as I've been doing on the videos, I've been posting the lore of these champions in the description below. You guys can go check out that link. And I think that's it. Yeah, we'll right into the video. Razul, the Conduit of the Lost Gods, is a Control Mage, like I said. Very unique Control Mage. He uses a lot of placement abilities to control the map, a little more than some of the other champions in the game. He has a lot of unique playstyles, as you will see. You can play him a lot of different ways and be effective. You don't need to play him in the mid lane. So, with his passive, known as Relics of the Lost Gods, Razul starts the game with an exclusive item known as the Rusty Unknown Amulet, which is in his inventory. It gives X amount of AP and X amount of mana, scales per level. So this is an item that he will consistently have, very similar to how Victor has the Hextech core. This item can be upgraded once into 3 different relics. You pick one of these 3 relics to upgrade it to. Once it is upgraded, it has to stay that way for 12 minutes. After 12 minutes, you can exchange it for a new relic, which will cost X amount of more gold. I put X because I don't know how much gold it would be, maybe like 1,500 gold. Every 12 minutes after that, you can exchange it for a new relic if you want. After level 6, however, the relics will awaken, granting a passive effect for those relics. The passive effects. So you have 3 different relics here of the Lost Gods. Each one of these are Lost Gods. You guys will kind of learn more about these in the lore if you guys go and check that out. So you have Sharul, Tyzoon, and Abu Nora. Now with these 3 amulets, they all give different effects. So top one here gives mana, this one gives ability power, and this one gives resistance. Now these go along with these. So what these will do, the top one here will just increase the amount of mana that you are getting. This one increases the amount of AP, and this one gives resistances. Basically, these 2 here are only for the early game. Let me specify that. So you only get X amount of AP and mana per level when you have this amulet here. Once you upgrade it, you will only get one of these 3. Okay? So you won't get AP, mana, and then more mana. You get these 2 until you upgrade it, and then you'll get one of these. Okay? So just make sure that is kind of cut in stone. I know somebody's going to say that that would be broken if they don't watch this video. So you have these here that we're going off of, right? Alright, so this is the first ability, Zealing Soul Mass. This is a charge skill shot. Razul conjures 5 kinetic magical orbs behind his current location. Think of it as the Ari orbs, but if they were just kind of behind him. Lasting X amount of seconds. Can reactivate to toggle a directional skill shot, firing all 5 orbs in a direction, one by one, similar to Talia Q animation with Victor E. So how Victor can kind of angle his E off of he's facing, and Talia's rocks kind of shoot one after another. It's kind of combine those 2 animations, and that's what this animation would look like. Each orb deals increased magic damage for each orb that hits the same enemy target, whether it's a target minion, monster, or a champion. Each orb that strikes an enemy champion, however, will apply a runic mark to them. Once at least 3 marks are applied, Razul can reactivate to siphon X percentage of magic resist from that target, temporarily reducing their magic resist while granting you a percentage of missing magic resist for X seconds. Now I know that sounds a little confusing. So basically what it does, it deals damage, it's a poke ability. However, if you're hitting an enemy champion, you hit them 3 times, you can steal magic resist from them for a particular amount of time. Think of it as how Trundle's Q can steal attack damage. Similar concept, but with magic resist. This is going to be really good for just, being able to poke somebody down, just stealing some extra resistances from them, especially if you're playing against an AP champion in the mid lane. You're going to be able to steal magic resist from them, that way they're dealing less damage to you and you can deal more. Second ability is Hieroglyphic Rune Mates. This is a toggled trap ability. So what that means is similar to how Teimo's mushrooms work. You put them down, they have an effect. So Razul places an overcharged magical glyph at target location. Effects changes depending on where and whom the glyph is placed upon. Glyphs will activate when targets enter range, and they are invisible to the enemy unless they use an oracle, which will disable the traps when they walk over them. So once they walk over them or walk into their radius, they will activate. So you have 5 different effects that this can have. If you place it on the ground, they will have an AoE damage, which slows all targets for X amount of seconds. If you place them on a wall, they will have a displacement crowd control effect, which will knock the targets back from the current location and then deal AoE magic damage to everybody who is caught by the knock up or the knockback. Bush or brush, the first target is rooted and applies true damage, or not true damage, true vision to that target for X amount of seconds, and also applies a dot to them as well, single target dot. If you apply this to turrets, this will knock up all targets and then apply AoE magic damage to them. And if you cast it on enemy target champions, they will tick for 2 seconds and then explode, dealing AP damage and slowing that target for X amount of seconds. So there is a lot of crowd control in here, a lot of playmaking potential. I consider this very similar to Silas's ultimate, where it has a very, very high skill cap. You're going to want, you're not just going to want to throw this ability down and just call it a day. You want to, specifically put this down for a reason. You're getting chased through the jungle by an Amumu, by a Camille. They're going to try to, CC you over the wall. You place that on that wall, they jump into it, or they try to jump over the wall, they're going to get knocked back over the other side of the wall. Placing it in a brush, it's going to give you vision, it's going to root somebody, maybe allows you to, use your Q a little bit better. You can place it on somebody, which then will slow them, deal damage. So you have a lot of different areas to use this ability. You just really need to find the one particular area that you're going to want to use it in, which could end up changing the course of that team fight or skirmish of whatever is going on. So I like this ability a lot. I think someone's going to ream me for it being overpowered, but I don't really think it's that overpowered. Also, I think this would probably have a very high cooldown early. So whenever you place this, you're gonna want to, make sure that it's gonna be placed for a particular reason. Third ability, this is gonna be called Totem of Power. This has a cast radius of 400, about 400, I think. So depending on which item you took and upgraded, Razul tosses a surge of energy in target location, animating as a totem, applying an effect to target area for X amount of seconds. All totems grant vision as well, so these are basically extra wards. Level 1 you get 1 charge, level 3 you get 2, and max level you get 3. So overlapping totems will not only increase the effect, but will siphon stolen effects to grant Razul bonuses. Drained effects are small percentages and less overlapped. All totems have different effects. So before we even get to the actual effects, you place this down, it has a certain effect. You can, once you get a few of these, you actually can place multiple down. I think the max you'll be able to place is 3 at max. Once you place them, if you place them and they have overlapping areas, if targets walk into those overlapping areas, they will, lose, the effect, the effect will increase, and then Razul will get bonuses from whatever is being siphoned away. So the first relic drains mana from surrounding targets, which means if targets are if they're walking in an overlapped area, that mana will then get sent to Razul, so he just gains mana. Second one drains movement speed, and the third one drains HP. So these are very, very cool, very good for zoning, very good for playing around certain objectives, being able to throw these down. And like I said, you only get to pick one relic, so you can't do mana, HP, and movement. You have to pick one of those. And it just kind of is going to really depend on your play style. These all have very, very unique forms, which we'll kind of talk about at the end once I go through the last ability. These cannot be destroyed. These will stay up for 6 seconds, go up to maybe 10 or 12. Let me know what you guys think, what a good time base for these totems would be. That way they're not, very, very broken. I don't want that to happen. And the final ability, it's going to be called Unleash the Forgotten Deities. This has a radius of about 650. Just depends on the ability here. So, Razul breaks his amulet in his hands, unleashing the built-up ancient powers trapped inside. Ability is determined by the item in your inventory, kind of like the other abilities. Once the ultimate is used, however, the idle passive goes on cooldown for 40% of the ultimate's cooldown. So, if you remember, all of these different type of abilities that you can get, this will be removed for 40% of the time that your ultimate is down. So this is a big opportunity for people who are playing against Razul. If they get him to use his ultimate, he is going to be predominantly weaker in one of these facets without that ultimate. So that's something to keep in mind. So the first relic has a large circle AoE cast. Razul conjures a large blue misty field at target location, slowing targets who are caught inside. Targets who step inside the field will have their max mana pool halved. So anyone who is standing inside of this field, their mana pool, they will basically be casted, they will have an effect on them called exhaustion, which allows them to not use their entire mana pool. It just takes off half of their mana pool. So if you have 1,000 mana, you go down to 500 mana. Now, is half a lot? Yes. Well, we can go down, you can go from 25% to 35% to 45% with scaling with the level. But you guys let me know what you guys think. I think that would be the best. When I put halved, I just mean you're getting a chunk of it taken away. The second relic sets up a magical explosion at target location. Think how graves are, the animation kind of works. Dealing massive AP damage to targets close in proximity, knocking back and dealing less damage to targets who are not caught in the initial explosion. So you have a very good execution ability, just a good, disengage ability, a good finisher. This is, just a massive amount of damage is going to be in this ability here. The third relic grants a bonus zone. I was thinking about 600 range around wherever Razul casted this. So this doesn't follow him. This just lands wherever he casted. Granting bonus resistances based on his current mana and AP to all allies above 60%. So if they're above 60%, they'll get some bonus armor and bonus magic resist. So you can kind of see with all three of these relics, they can all be played very, very differently. Obviously, this one is more of a defensive utility based, similar to like a Karma Lulu mid. Can still be played mid lane, I feel. You're just playing more defensively. You have your second one, which is more so just pure damage. And then you have this one, which is more of a sustained, getting to late game sort of idea, just spamming abilities. Now, as I said, all three of these are very, very different. He has a lot of pros. There's a lot of things that he does very well. He's got a lot of CC. He's got a lot of poke damage, has team fight potential, has utility, has sustain. He has a lot of things in his kit, a lot of things. But the biggest thing, and I didn't really put it in here, is his cooldown and mana cost. Those would be higher for all of these abilities, especially since he has so much mana regeneration in his kit. His mana cost would have to be pretty high. His cooldowns have to be pretty high. That way, you're not just spamming abilities at the beginning of the game and you're able to do a ton of damage. You need to have the mana pool for it. You need to be landing these, mana siphoning abilities to be able to get some of this mana back. And as the game scales on, though, with his passive, he's going to gain, more mana, more AP, more resistances or whatever, and he's going to become stronger and stronger and stronger. So he's definitely a late game mage who can basically, force you to go a certain way that you need. Like, he can force the enemy to go in a way that they don't want to go. If they're at Baron, you throw down, 2 or 3 of these totems around, they're probably not going to want to walk into it, depending on what kind of items you have. So it just forces the enemy to do something that they're probably not comfortable doing. And I think probably the biggest champions who would counter him are really hard engaged champions. So Zed, Talon, Kha'Zix, Rengar, Katarina, being able to get in quickly before he can lay down his totems, before he can lay down his traps. That way you can actually get some damage off and back out and then kind of repeat that process until you can actually kill him. But you guys let me know what you guys think of Razul. I think he's a really fun champion. Would be very cool to see in the game just because there's no trap style mages in the game as of right now. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.